everybody, welcome back to my channel Concept Learning. This is Rasagna. Hope you all are staying safe at your home. Yes, so now we are doing multiple integrals, right? Yes, in multiple integrals we have already studied about many concepts such as double integrals, triple integrals and many applications on double and triple integrals, right? Yes, so in today's class we are going to move into the last concept of multiple integrals, that is beta and gamma functions. So in today's class we are going to briefly know about the concept of beta and gamma functions. Okay, we are going to know the complete concept of it, and in the next class we will be solving some problems, and after that multiple integrals topic will be completed and we'll move on to the next topic. Okay, so yes, so if you have not watched the previous videos of multiple integrals, the double integrals, triple integrals and applications, you can check it in the description box below. Links have been provided and you can watch from there. Also share those to your friends. Okay, yes, so now let's get started with our new topic, beta and gamma functions. Okay, so now first let us look into the first concept, that is beta function, and after that we'll move on to the gamma function. Okay, so first let us look into the beta function. So first of all we have a basic formula for beta function, that is the general formula of it. First let us see what it is. The definition of it actually to tell is beta of m comma n is equals to integral of 0 to 1. Okay, the limits are from 0 to 1. And x power m minus 1 into 1 minus x into n minus 1 dx. Okay, so this is the basic definition of a beta function. This is the formula and the definition of a beta function. Okay, so this is the thing. Now we have many deductions to this. Okay, every time we will use this formula, and we have some deductions and relations and small proofs which we will be using in the sums that we do later. Okay, so now let us see one of them. The first one is what we have to do in the first one is we have to put x is equals to 1 minus y. Okay, the first thing is we have to put x is equals to 1 minus y. So then if you put it, what will happen? If you integrate it on both sides, you get dx is equals to minus dy. Okay, so put this point aside now, and now you have to substitute this complete thing, this x is equals to 1 minus y into this. Okay, so then what will happen? Beta of m comma n is equals to integral of 0 to 1 minus y whole power m minus 1 into 1 minus of 1 minus y whole power n minus 1 into minus dy, right? Minus dy. Instead of dx we have to put minus dy. So I have put that now. So this implies beta of m comma n is equals to, now what will happen? 0 to 1 minus y into m minus 1 into, this is 1 minus 1 plus y whole power n minus 1 into, okay, sorry, I have to change the limits also here, right? I am very sorry for that. So now I have this relation, right? X is equals to 1 minus y. So at 0 is equals to 1 minus y, and y will become 1, right? So this lower limit will be 1, and what will be the upper limit? I have to put 1 instead of x. So 1 is equals to 1 minus y, and y will become 0, right? So 0 will be the upper limit. Okay, so that is what we have to put in the limits. You have to change the limits also whenever you change something in the integration, right? Remember that. And so here also from 1 to 0, right? So my lower limit must be smaller one. So if I change the limit, you will get the negative sign outside. That is a property we have already studied in our intermediate second year, right? Yes. So negative sign comes out, and then we will be changing the limits from 0 to 1. Okay, from 0 to 1. And now what will happen? Minus dy, right? So this minus and minus into minus will become plus, right? So let me erase those two minus signs, and what I will get is beta of m comma n. This will be equal to integral of 0 to 1 minus y whole power m minus 1 into y power n minus 1 dy, right? So now what is this? You have just reversed, instead of, if you look the general formula and this one, you can clearly observe that this m came here and n came here, right? So they have reversed their positions. Then what would this function become? This function would become beta of n comma n, right? Beta of n comma n. So the main thing that you have to remember over here is that is you have one of the relation now. What is it? I am going to write all these relations over here, okay? So the first one that we have got is beta of m comma n is equals to beta of n comma n, right? So this is the first relation that we have got according to this, right? You can see beta of m comma n is equals to beta of n comma n. We have proved that first thing. Now let us look into some other thing which we have also need to remember, some relations which will be important for us to remember so that we can solve some problems in a very easy way by remembering these relations, okay? Yes. So now the second thing is, okay, so the second thing is we have to put x is equals to sine square theta, okay? We have to put x is equals to sine square theta. Now you have to substitute do the same thing, substitute every value s. So from this what would you get? Dx is equals to 2 sine theta and cos theta d theta. Am I right? This is what you get if you integrate it? Yes. So now let me do beta of n comma n is equals to, so you have here 0, right? If I put 0 instead of x, what will happen? Sine square theta equals to 0 and sine theta will be 0. Then theta is 0, right? From 0 to up, down limit is 0, and if I put x is equals to 1, I would get pi by 2. Theta equals to pi by 2. So the upper limit will be pi by 2. So from 0 to pi by 2, you have to put sine square theta instead of x, right? M minus 1 into 1 minus sine square theta whole power n minus 1 into 2 sine theta d, sine theta into cos theta d theta, right? This is what I have got now. Yes. Now from 0 to pi by 2, okay, so I have sine square theta into, okay, sine square theta means sine power 2 into m minus 1, okay, yes, into cos theta whole power 2 into n minus 1 into, I'll put this 2 outside, sine theta into cos theta d theta, okay. This is what I have got now. Yes. Now from this what would I get is 2 into integral of 0 to pi by 2, right? Yes. Now what would I get? Here I have sine theta whole power 2 of m minus 1. That is, I would get 2m minus 2, right? 2m minus 2, and I have plus 1 over here, another sine theta. So plus 1, finally this will become 2m minus 1, right? The same thing happens over here also. So here I will get 2n minus 1, right? Now let me write the same thing over here, okay? Okay, then what will happen? Sine theta whole power 2m minus 1 into cos theta whole power 2n minus 1 d theta, right? Am I right? This is what I have got now. Yes, so that is it. So I have 2 into 0 to pi by 2 and this one. That is what I have got till now. And now let me write this relation over here also. Okay, so then what would I get? The second relation is, what is the second one is? Okay, second one is to beta of m comma n is equals to 2 into integral of 0 to pi by 2 sin theta whole power 2n minus 1 into cos theta whole power 2n minus 1 d theta. Okay, this is what I have got till now. So let me remove this whole thing. Now these are the main deductions that we have to prove when we are doing this beta functions. Okay, so these are the main things, and the last one is, that is not something we have to prove. We have a direct formula, that is d beta of m comma n is equals to integral of 0 to infinity x power m minus 1 by 1 plus x whole power m plus n. Okay, so this is the formula. Okay, and you have, this means the same thing as 0 to infinity x power n minus 1 into 1 plus x whole power m plus n, this dx. Okay, dx. These two are some other important formulas which we are going to use when needed. Even in today's class or some other class we will be using these formulas. Have you got the point? Yes. So please do remember these formulas also. Okay? Yes. Now let's move into gamma functions. Okay, so now let us discuss about gamma functions. So as in beta functions, for gamma functions also we have a basic formula, basic definition. So what is gamma function defined as? So this is the symbol of gamma function. Okay, gamma of n is equals to integral of 0 to infinity e power minus x into x power n minus 1 dx. So this is the basic formula of a gamma function. Got it? Yes. So now that is it. Now we have to do some deductions to this as we did in beta functions. So the main thing is you have to find the value of gamma 1, gamma 2, gamma 3. You have to know these values so that these will help in beta functions also, because we have some relation on beta and gamma functions, and that would make your problem much easier. So you have to find those values. Now what are those? So at first, to find those, find gamma of 1. So how do you do it? You have to just substitute from 0 to infinity e power minus x into x power 1 minus 1 dx. Okay, so then what will this give me? This will give me integral of 0 to infinity e power minus x into x power 0. Constant power 0 is 1, right? So 1 dx. Okay, so that is it. Now what is the integration of e power x? As you know, minus of e power x, right? So minus of e power minus x. So minus of e power minus x, and the limits are from 0 to infinity. Now if I put this into it, minus of, if you put e power minus infinity minus e power 0, right? So e power minus infinity, as you know, is 0. Why? Because you have 1 by e power infinity, and e power infinity is 0. So e power infinity, right? So 1 by infinity, this will become 0. Am I right? Yes. So this value is 0. Minus of 0 minus e power 0 is 1. So this will become 1. Now you have gamma, let me write it over here, erase all this thing. You have understood, right, how we got 1? Yeah. So you have to just substitute the value of 1 in n. Right? So this value is 1 for me. Right? 1. That is 1 now. So after this, after doing this, I have to find out the gamma values of each and everything. Now how do I do this? How do I do this is, first what I have to do is calculate the value of gamma of n plus 1. This will help me to find the gamma values of each and every number. So then what will happen is, if you substitute this into it, what you will get is integral of 0 to infinity e power minus x into x whole power n plus 1 minus 1 dx. Okay, have you got the point? Yes. So this gives me integral of 0 0 to infinity e power minus x into x power n dx. Okay, e power minus x into x power n dx. Now how do you solve this? You will use UV method, right? So in UV method, what are you going to do first? You are going to use ILATE, right? So algebraic and exponential. So first I have to take this as u and this as v. Am I right? Yes. So now what will I get? This will give me from 0 to infinity. Okay, if I use uv, x power n into integral of 0 to infinity e power minus x minus integral of 0 to infinity n into x power n minus 1 into, if I integrate this once again, integral of 0 to infinity e power minus x dx and whole dx. Okay, am I right? Now what I will get, I am going to continue this over here. Okay, so this gives me, this is equals to x power n into minus, right, e power minus x, and what are these limits from 0 to infinity, right? Yes, and minus n into integral of x power n minus 1 into minus e power minus x, and this gives me from 0 to infinity, right? From 0 to infinity dx. Okay, that is what I have got now. Yes, so from this what I would get, if I substitute this infinity and 0 over here, if I put x power infinity into e power minus infinity is 0. So my upper limit value will become 0 minus lower limit value x power 0 power n, right? Instead of x we have to put 0. So 0 power n is 0. So my lower limit value also will become 0. So this complete value will become 0, right? Yes, that is it. And now minus of integral, so this minus into minus will become plus, and I am not going to write it. Integral of 0 to infinity x power n minus 1 into e power minus x, okay, I have n, this n, e power minus x, okay, dx. Okay, so that is what I have got now. Am I right? Yes. So now through this, you know, n into, what is this value? What is this value? This value is, you have, okay, sorry, I'm very sorry. Okay, so what is this value? X power e power minus x into x power n minus 1 dx. So that is this. So that is gamma of n, right? Yes, so that is gamma of n. Now what you finally got is gamma of n plus 1 is equals to n into gamma of n. Okay, so this is the final relation you have got now. So using this now, we are going to find out all the gamma relations. Now how are we going to do this? At first you have gamma of 1 is equals to 1, right? Remember that? And now moving on to the second one, gamma of 2. So I can write gamma, so this is, okay, so this is, I can write it as 0 factorial, right? 0 factorial. You can write 0 factorial like this or like this. So I'm going to write it like this. So gamma of 2, I can write it as gamma of 1 plus 1, right? So what will happen to this? N into 1 into gamma of 1. Okay, so that will give me 1 factorial. Okay, that will give me 1 factorial. Now moving on to the second one, gamma of 3. Okay, so gamma of 3, what will it give me? 2 plus 1. Okay, so that is, I have now 2 plus 1. So 2 into gamma of 2. So gamma of 2 is 1 factorial. 2 into 1 factorial is 2 factorial, right? So this will give me 2 factorial. Now as you have understood, in the same way for gamma of 4 you are going to get 3 factorial, gamma of 5 4 factorial, in that way. So then what would be the general form? So gamma of n, okay, gamma of n gives me factorial of n minus 1. Got it? Gamma of n gives me factorial of n minus 1. Hope you have got the point. So in the same way you are going to get all the gamma values. So that will be very helpful for us to solve beta problems very easily and also gamma function problems. Okay. Yes. So that is it about the gamma functions. And now let us move on to the next concept, that is relations between the beta and gamma functions. Okay, so now what is the relation between the beta and gamma functions? We have a very small relation, that is beta of m comma n is equals to gamma m into gamma n by gamma of m plus n. So this is a very small relation that is present for beta and gamma function, which helps us to solve beta problems with much and more accuracy and speediness. Okay, yes, and in a very easy way. Okay, so that is the relation, and how you got those relation, that also contains a very small proof, which I am going to explain it in my next class, because that is a slightly big process. So that will take one class, and after that we will also do some problems, do not worry. Okay, so that is all for today. Today we have completely learned about the concepts of beta and gamma functions separately, and we have also known what is the relation between the beta and gamma functions, and we are going to prove it in our next class. No worries. Okay, yes. So that is it for today. In our next class we are going to look about some problems and the relation of beta and gamma functions, and do not forget to like the video and share it to your friends. Also subscribe to the channel for more videos of mine. And after this multiple integrals, I am going to start some other new topic, most probably linear algebra. Okay, yes. So that is it for today. Meet you in my next class. Bye bye.